I've always had a soft spot for animals. Maybe it's why I became a veterinarian. Growing up in the city, I saw too many small creatures die in alleys, under tires, or in the talons of hawks circling overhead. It always felt wrong, like I was watching innocence get swallowed up by the machinery of urban life. So when I bought this old fixer-upper on the edge of town, tucked between overgrown lots and cracked sidewalks, I saw an opportunity. The backyard sloped into a brushy hill, and the crawl space beneath the house stretched further than most, deep enough, I thought, to be something more. A sanctuary. It started small. I cleaned the space, laid down insulation, patched the gaps, and built little shelters from scrap wood. I installed a heating unit, fresh bedding, water stations. I even added PVC tunnels and soft lighting, enough for any small creature to live in peace. Rabbits, squirrels, mice, anything small and desperate for shelter from the brutal outside. I installed a motion-activated camera system and streamed the footage online. People loved it, a quiet pocket of nature preserved beneath a suburban home. One user called it the Haven, another wholesome underground city. And for a while, that's exactly what it was. They came, slowly at first. A rabbit, scruffy and wide-eyed, found the entrance and made a nest. A few mice followed, then more. Word must have spread in whatever way animals understand, because by winter the sanctuary was bustling. I kept it stocked and clean. I checked the footage every night. The animals thrived, but there was a sound, a creaking. The first time I heard it, I thought it was the pipes. A sharp, rhythmic creak, wooden, unnatural, somewhere in the background of the footage. It wasn't constant. It didn't line up with wind or temperature changes. It came in bursts, like something shifting, something old, moving in slow, deliberate jerks. I dismissed it, thought maybe the house was settling, until the animals started noticing it too. The rabbits would perk their ears in unison, they'd stop eating, their noses would twitch rapidly, eyes fixed on the same shadowy corner of the crawl space. Then they'd scatter. I muted the video during playback. I couldn't explain it, but the sound gave me a chill in the base of my spine. I told myself it was nothing, just ambient noise. Then the behavior shifted. It started subtly. The rabbits grew territorial. Two of them had a brief scuffle, which I chalked up to mating aggression. Normal, right? But then there was another fight, and another. Teeth bared. Chases. Something colder than instinct. The mice started vanishing. At first, I thought maybe the cats in the neighborhood had found a way in, but there were no signs of struggle. No fur, no blood, just absence. Then I saw the video. One rabbit, a large one, the first that had moved in, stalking a mouse. It followed it through the tunnel system, then pounced, pinned it, bit down hard on the back of its neck. The mouse twitched, then went still. The rabbit stood over it, silent, then dragged the body out of frame. I stared at the screen for nearly an hour, unable to move. A day later, it happened again, with another rabbit watching from the corner, then two rabbits hunted together. Within a week, the non-rabbit population was gone, not evicted, eliminated, and the cameras began capturing strange formations, arrangements of bones, tiny skeletons posed like they were being displayed, honored or warned. I panicked. I sealed the crawlspace entrance, locked it up, cut the food supply, but they kept finding ways in. I'd hear scratching beneath the floorboards, digging, the soft knock of wood against metal, and then they started leaving things for me. Tiny, bloodied mice, left on the back porch, one at a time. Always fresh, always placed neatly, like a gift. I stopped sharing the footage online. I told myself they were just animals, reverting to instinct, but something inside me screamed that this wasn't nature. This was design. So I upgraded the cameras. Better angles, thermal imaging, night vision. I needed to see what I'd missed. That's when I saw it. In the far left corner of the crawl space, just outside the glow of the heat lamps, something moved. Not an animal. It was small, humanoid, wooden, a puppet. It stood there, rigid and angular, like something pulled from an antique trunk. Its joints creaked. Its head hung to the side as if the strings were slack, but there were no strings. Not above it, anyway. It moved again the next night, closer, stillness broken by sharp, twitchy gestures like a marionette under invisible control, only it had no puppeteer. It was controlling. I reviewed the footage frame by frame. That's when I noticed the glint. Thin threads. not above the puppet but trailing from its hands, down, outside into the dark. Strings. And they weren't decorative, they attached to the rabbits, dozens of them, maybe more, all with those thin shimmering strings tied into their backs, their limbs, their necks. And when the puppet moved its hands, the rabbits moved too, perfectly, obediently, in unison. I wanted to vomit. I unplugged everything, killed the feed, boarded the crawlspace shut, piled dirt and gravel over the hatch, even laid down steel sheets and concrete. I didn't care what it cost. I just wanted it gone. For a few days, the house was quiet. I convinced myself I'd won, but I didn't dare remove the barriers. Then, I noticed something worse. The puppet was gone from the recordings. No trace of it, no rabbits, no creaking, no movement at all. The crawl space was completely still, but the neighborhood wasn't. I started hearing sirens at night, first once a week, then every other night. Break-ins, pet disappearances, doors left open, fences destroyed. The news called it an uptick in crime. I wasn't so sure. I started checking the footage again, even though I'd sealed it all off. I knew there was nothing to see, but I had to look. Every night, it became a compulsion. I'd lie in bed, eyes open, waiting for the motion alert that never came. But I'd still check, dozens of times, sometimes staring for hours at a still frame, convinced I could see something shift if I just watched long enough. Then the alerts started again. Motion detected, 2:44 a.m. The crawlspace camera showed nothing, just shadows, but the motion log lit up again, 2:45, 2:46, 2:47. All motion, no movement. Then, on the third night, the camera showed something new. A footprint, not a paw, not a rabbit. A bare human foot, small, like a child's, pressed into the dirt. Then another, and another, leading to the center of the frame. I froze the frame, enhanced it. There was something at the edge of the image, a shape, too dark to define but unmistakably there. And behind it, barely visible in the glow of the infrared, something shimmered. A string. The final night, it came inside. I don't remember letting it in. I don't remember opening the door. But I remember the cold, the scent of earth and rot, the sound of wood joints clicking as it walked. I found it in the hallway. It stood there, unmoving, then slowly raised one arm. From its wooden fingers dangled a thread. And at the end of that thread was a man. My neighbor, eyes wide, mouth slack, strings buried in his skin. He didn't speak, just moved, like he was being guided, used. And I understood in that moment what it had all been for. The rabbit aggression, the tunnel systems, the bones, the offerings, the mimicry. It was learning, refining, preparing, and I gave it everything it needed. I gave it a safe place to grow, to study, to practice. I thought I was building a sanctuary, but all I did was build a stage.